Okay, everybody. So now we have a nice treat. Salvador is going to do a little demo for us. I'm excited about it. And let me introduce Salvador. I put his bio in the student login, and I've known Salvador for a long time. And so we've worked together on and off with Iridology for many, many years. And so he graduated. I'm going to go over his bio. He graduated from the Homeopathic College of Canada in Toronto in 1998, practices other modalities in natural medicine and healthcare. He's a registered homeopath with the College of Homeopaths of Ontario, certified iridologist, MPS practitioner, also known as needleless acupuncture. He was involved in the proposal to the Canadian government for the regulations of homeopathy while on the board of the OHA, which is the Ontario Homeopathic Association, for 2 consecutive terms, which was passed in the House of Commons on June 4, 2007. He's contributed written material for other newsletters, including Joyful Living Services, which time's coming, we're going to do that again, in the US, and a well-known international health magazine called Treating Yourself. He's made several appearances as a guest speaker on talk radio in Toronto, such as health and wellness, topic of iridology and its application in the recognition of disease, past and present, and how to improve the present state and overcome some of the inherited weaknesses from the genetic pool. He's been teaching iridology nutrition courses on behalf of Joyful Living since September 2008. His scope of practice is to help the sufferer by listening and understanding their complaints, and then apply his knowledge and experience to restore health and wellness. So thank you for being willing to do this demo. Really appreciate it. A lot of people are interested, and so we thought we would offer this to you. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and pass the host on to Salvador here.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. This is the first time I'm doing this with this new system that I have, so please bear with me, and we'll try to make it as smooth as possible. But if there's a little glitches or whatever, please just try to understand. I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to take you through the process of doing analysis using software. This is one of the softwares that I use. It is a great software, has a lot in it. So to learn it in a short period of time, it's for some, I guess, will be able to grasp it a little sooner than others will just take a little bit of time. But once you understand the terminology of the software and the teachings of Brenda all this time here, it's going to be it's invaluable to the use of the software, especially when it comes down to the analysis and providing feedback and producing printouts as well. So let's give it a try here. I guess we can do here. So you're able to see that screen there?
Not yet. It says you started screen sharing.
It's paused for some reason. Resume share. There we are. It's showing on the screen now, but why is it? Okay. Are you able to see my screen at all, though?
No.
No? Okay. Let me try something else there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
great. All right. So this is Iridology Station 5. They had version 5.1 a few years ago. Then they upgraded to 5.2. This is 5.2. And what it means is that the newer software or the operating systems are able to work with this system. So basically, there's 2 parts to this program. There's the capture side, where you incorporate, or you can actually use the camera and you can manipulate the images from there. Also allows you to communicate with the rest of the system if you're bringing in images, let's say from the internet, or you're bringing in from a drive or presently on your system. So here I just have a few. I removed some of the other ones. I even have Brenda's.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are Brenda's. You could see that we ran a little test a little while ago. Anyways, here is the images that were sent to me by Brenda, and we're going to use that into this example. So basically, the way I work is always from the right eye to the left eye, because this is the way I look at an individual when they come into my office. So a client or a patient, I look at them. So I always start from the right to the left. You can work in either direction that you want. The nice thing about this software is you're going to see the full report and two eye images on the same page. I will take you through two types of analysis. One is just a very quick one that you could do and use the software in that regard. So you could just do a quick scan for somebody in your office. You don't have to spend too much time. You'll be able to interpret it in a very quick period of time. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this image and I'm gonna send it to the iStudio. The iStudio is the actual program that's going to be running the analysis. So then I click on the left one and we go to iStudio. Well, now we've done everything on this part of the program. And again, here, if you could see on top, these are other markers. I'm not going to get too much into it right now because it's going to take time from you from actually viewing and processing the analysis. So now we'll go to the second part of the program, which is there. Can you see that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to try to move this thing out of the way because I can't see too much. Okay. So basically, we know this is the left eye, the right eye, and this here is the left eye. So you can move them around as you see fit. And if your screen is big enough or not big enough. So actually, let me just go back for a moment. Okay. So we have the right eye here and the left eye here. So this is one of my other examples. This, for some reason, has not allowed me to select those, but we're going to use, this is actually one of my patients right now. And one of the cameras that I use is not as elaborate as Brenda uses, which you always want a camera with the light right inside of the pupil opposed to the side. But I manipulate my camera because there's certain sections that I want to see. And if the light blocks it, it's not going to give me that information. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this image here. We're going to go to the right side. And this is the part of the program that you're going to be assigning names to. So we're going to call it testing test 1. And so basically, we come back here, we're going to select, I know this here is a male, so we're going to say male. We're going to do the right eye, and you can see the rings are presented to you by the software. So basically, I'm going to do a very quick one on this side here, and I show you how we can trace the colorette with these more sensitivity of this part of the program. So I'm going to work very quickly here. I'm not really too worried about the accuracy right now, but just for demonstration purposes only. So as you go by with time, you get more accurate with it. The more practice you have, but you could see that the eye itself, the pupil, is off. So when we go for the colorette, we want at least 80% of the colorette, even though it goes in and out, jaggedy or not, if it's balanced or not, or square. This is the way we do it. We move it over here, and we want the lipemic diathesis in the analysis. But look what we can do here. Now we need to center it. So we're going to capture the majority of there. But what we do is we're going to manipulate the pupil. See, now we can actually move that. So now what we're going to do is lock it. That is locked. We're going to assign the eye. So we're just going to put Brenda just to identify it. Now it's going to save it. See, this is the nice thing. It will always save a copy of it, and you can always go back to it. You can email this. You can manipulate it in any way that you want. So here's the scan. We're going to do the auto scan. Now, this software works on density, and then I'll show you. But here's the whole body all in one shot. You can see where these markers on the left-hand side, when you see the negative numbers, that pertains to either something that's been there acute or just going into a pre-chronic, and then chronic and degenerative. So these are the areas or the levels. And this is the one you could, when you look at the eye and you see the markings, you see like if it's a white or a gray, and then you get into a brown and the black. So the black is more like it's really deep at a different level. Even though you're looking at a two-dimensional image here, you'll actually be able to see the depth of the disease process. Again, if it's gone through normal, acute, subacute, chronic, and then degenerative. And I will use those terms over and over again, but there will be a point. If there's something you don't understand as we're doing this, please stop me, ask the questions, because I think this is where the greatest learning. Some people may ask the question, but somebody else may be thinking about it. And if we answer it, then a lot of people will be able to get an answer, possibly. So now we're going to do the left eye, and then we'll show you what the graph is. So in other words, if I do the report right now, we know the color red. So what's the constitution on this one here? We can see a lot of glandular. So if we say class 3 or constitution 3, what do we want to put on this report? Well, we're going to put the image in the bar graph, and then we're going to put the summary. You can select other things in there, which when you are at the level that you are right now, you really understand iridology, and it's going to come in handy. Everything that Brenda has taught you, it's going to come and really shine in this program. But we're just going to cover a little bit right now. So this is the report. It's covered over here, so I can't see it. I can't even move it. Okay, all right. Sorry, I had to go through the other side there just to shrink it enough so I can see what I'm doing, because there's a big menu going across and I can't see it. So since we only process the right eye, that's all that you see here, and I'll show you how to interpret all those lines. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this and close that. So now we're going to process the left image. And we're going to do it slightly different, just to show you how more accurate it will be if we do it a different way here. And I'm going to show you on the color red. So this is the left eye. We know it's a male, so we need to put that into the system. So one way we're going to do is we do that part again. It won't be too accurate because you see the reflection of the light here of the camera itself. So like I said, I'm not worried about accuracy right now. It's just for demonstration purposes. Okay, you ready for it? Now here we go. You notice that the color red ring has disappeared. Now here, we're going to draw it. There's not too many other programs that can actually do this. So we're satisfied with that. We're gonna lock it. You can't go any further unless you lock it. You're gonna come back here to the details, and it's already marked as the left eye. So we're gonna sign the eye. There it is. So it's marked as Brenda, as the last name. Test one, which we did, and this is the left eye and the date that this was processed. So now that it's locked, we're gonna do the scan. We're gonna do the auto scan. Good. So now you see this part here. Let's do the, if I do the report first, and then I'll show you how to do the markings and everything else. So okay, I need to do this here again. All right. So these are all the pages. Now we have both images. And you see the gradings, you see the basic line, which is here on 60, and here is 67. So basically what it means is it's taking the average of the density of that image. And it puts it into, it runs a logarithm inside. So basically what's happening is that it's going to give you a reference point, which that reference point on the left, on the right eye is 60, and you're looking at around 66, 67 on the left eye. But let's take a look at each individual eye. So everything to the right, overall, we know that there's something happening with the elimination colon. But everything to the left side will be negative number. The larger the negative number, that means the degree in the disease process. We're not going to say disease, so let's change that and we'll talk about like an issue. So I would say as a disease factor, but if a client comes in here, and again, because of the different areas that we live in, there's different criteria and there's different things that you could say or not. So if I use the word interlaced with other ones, please forgive me because I'm just trying to say the way I would normally do it. So we know there's some issues going on with circulation. We know digestion, elimination of the colon. But here's the biggest thing happening in this individual here. Look at the elimination or respiratory. Then we have the endocrine system. We know that's off, but it's also on the skin. They already picked that up. Liver and gallbladder issue, not to the degree that, let's say, the elimination respiratory. So we know that there is something seriously going on with the respiratory tract on this individual. Here's the liver and gallbladder showing itself, and the sinuses, and also something happening in the skeletal and the muscular system. Going back on this here, we know there's something with the vocal system, the structure. So what's happening is sometimes you bring in the Eastern philosophy and you say, even though there's nothing really so much physical that it's attainable through X-rays or MRIs or ultrasounds and all that, but what's happening on the emotional side, there's a lot of people that cannot voice whatever it is, they're holding it inside. So you will ask those questions. If the person says, yes, I have a scratchy throat, I have infections on my throat, that's one thing, and this here will actually prove it. But if they say, no, 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 everything is fine, then you start bringing in the emotional aspect. And a lot of times that will definitely come out as a confirmatory symptom. So here we have, I'm sorry about the screen. I don't have full access to it. So what's happening is I have to manipulate it around. So now we have the actual report. And I'm going to go very quickly just to show you, and then we can back it up a bit. So you can see the circulation. It has the digestion as well. Let's move. Can you see the full page or no?
No.
No. And that's what I'm happy. Okay, let me try to stretch it out a bit because here we are. So you could, here. Okay, now you'll be able to read it better.
Right.
So there's the respiration, respiratory tract, the elimination scan. You can see the overall number, like right here. You read that. That's when you take an average. And then it goes into specifics. Which area is the lymphatics? And the endocrine system, there we know there's adrenal fatigue. Then we know that there is something with the pancreas. We talked about digestion, so pancreas is a big part of that. The parathyroid, we know it's off. I mean, we can, if you do it just the manual, you'll be able to see those markings, those are lacunas. You'll be able to see them there as well. So the software picks it up, puts it into an easy follow through type of a menu. So here we know, being a male, that's why we had to indicate it was a male or female. We could see that there's something happening there. So if we run it through the example of the other gentleman come through, if you want, we could try that another day just for testing purposes. We can run that those images through the software, and we'll be able to pick up a lot of those things that were identified earlier. So, and then we could see something happening with the prostate. Just to let you know, now we need the age of an individual, because if it's somebody young and these numbers are rising up, then it's a little more of a concern. As a person gets older, we know that there's more fatigue on the body, there's wear and tear. So we could bring that into the equation as well. So I know this gentleman here is actually 74 years old. So if there's something happening with the prostate, we can actually identify it here and confirm it. So let me go down. All right, so here's the last page. And let's scroll through that as well. There's the skeletal system that we use. And now, even though that the marker was there overall, where are those each individual components? The components are, take a look at the clavicle, there's something happening there. So you ask questions, something happening there. Have you had an injury in the past? Are you feeling the pain now? Is there inflammation below that's causing this to be not necessarily a symptom, but it's something there that could be very, very mild, but person never thought of, thinks about it. An individual that I picked this number high a few years ago, I asked them, was there an injury or whatever? And they said, no, 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 it's a fallacy. And then I traced back and asked you more questions, found out that their car went into the ditch. And what happened is the shoulder strap actually held them in place, and it was bruised for a week to 2 weeks, and they had forgotten about it. So a lot of times we can pick up scar tissue. Scar tissue that's it's not you cannot see it, it's not visible. Sometimes it doesn't cause any impingement in the arterial surface, but there could be some scar tissue there, and a lot of times this will pick it up. So where was the skeletal issues as well? We know that the hip and the thigh is there. Most likely the gait is out of alignment. You can ask questions about that. You can actually physically see it. And the other areas, there's the pubis area. So being a man at 74, prostatitis possibly. If you ask the question, I did ask, so that is the case. And then some of these numbers here will actually confirm that. So that's the test overall. And let's go back now, and I just want to show you how we do the markings. And you can add this. There's many things you could do. You could draw lines here, and for your client or patients, you can type in what is the findings, and they will ask, what's this? So basically what you could do is, I don't know if you could see it on this frame now, but you see down at the lower bottom, you see lymph, blood, pelvic zone. So all you have to do with the software is point, and it tells you what it is. Where's the middle lung? You see that?
No.
Okay, there's the images of the all the other students on, or the participants, and that's what's blocking it at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
You see it?
Move your cursor.
You
Oh,
see
yeah,
it?
it's showing down on the bottom. That's great.
All right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
See, what's this? I don't know what this is. I'm looking there. Oh, sexual expression. If we take a look at it, is this where the brain flare is between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock? It's right in there. And it tells you exactly what it is. Now, I don't know what this is in here, so I point to it. What is it? Oh, it's the descending colon. You see that? We know in the info. So the software actually will give you that. Now, what happens if I click here? You see that?
Yep.
Right. There it is. What is the colon? And it tells you what it is. What are the possible things that could go wrong? Okay, in this case here, could be bacterial. water, and this is what the function of the bowels are, or the large bowel. And how can you help it? Vitamin B12, you see, and what else? These are the amino acids you can actually use to enhance it. So you can give this information to your clients because you could append from the information in the database of this program onto your full report. So let's move on here on your report. What are you going to do or your markings? So you can start picking the markings. And there it is. It shows you what the lungs are. So again, you can append this. Iris signs. What are the iris signs? You guys already know this. What's the constitutional of this one here? Constitutional by color, constitution by structure. You can hit this and you can actually put this into your report. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's so big. You could use it as quick as you want, this program, just to get an analysis very quick. You print it out right away and your client could take it away with them. A lot of times you can work over long distances. They'll send you the images, you process it through, and you send the report back. And there's always that collaboration with them. You can always follow up, let's say, through other social media. You can follow through telephone, Skype, Zoom, and all that. And you can conduct your analysis that way there, especially if then it cannot come in. And you can run this whole thing right by them. So you want to report, put a report on that. Now, the endocrine, what is it? Is it the adrenal, one of the organs, right? So you could type that in. You found something with the pineal, you put it in there. You see how far you, just like the drop-down menus. Is it normal? Is it hyper or hypo? The hypothalamus, when you go in there, is it hypo, normal, or hypo? So you could fill all this up. You can, if you found something, let's say indigestion, now here it is. You can add all this. And you can actually even put down menus, herbs, vitamins, supplements. You could do this all with this program, and it's in depth, and you can go as deep as you really want to, or you could just do a casual scan. Here's the pupil. What kind of pupil? You find comb in there. Is the comb absent, present, or prominent? Pupil border. Is it undetectable, thin, ropey, and thick? Just like the courses we've just done. It's all there. The size, is the pupil large? Is it small? Is it normal? And then is it be all on your reports? Is it flattening? Is it ellipsoid? Inclined left, right? Flattening? So anything you want, you select it, you take a look at the image, you already know how to interpret it, all that. So you pick it up, put it in there, and it goes into your report. And the nice thing about it is once you save it here, in case you forget about it or whatever, you can always go back. Once you open it up, all the report that you made is all kept there. So you have not only, you will have a hard copy, and a hard copy that you can email and manipulate them any way that you need. If this image is too light or too dark, you can actually change. Here's the lookup. The categories, you can actually measure. You could put it here across. What is the distance between that? And then if you need to draw lines, here's a line. You could change the color of those lines. You want to put some text in here. You type in there. I covered it, so I can't see it. So what is that area, guys? Put it in there. So what's this area? Right there, it's the scapula. Come back over here, you're gonna draw your line. This here, you're gonna put your text right here, and we're gonna put there it is. You don't want it white, you change your color. So there's so much you could do that here is, it is a blessing. It's a beautiful software. For its price, you're going to use it for years. You have it outright. You don't have to rent it. Especially purchasing it from Brenda, you'll get our support. We can help you with the program along until you're ready to do it on your own, we could do, we can actually process a first few clients for you on your behalf. And then, and if you have any issues or questions regarding this software, we'll try to help you as best as we can. So there's many things that you could do that. Here's that graph I wanted to show you. Now, if this numbers are very high here, which is this is the left eye, I believe. We can hit there, and then it breaks it down even further. So you'll be able to see it's the larynx, pharynx, tongue, mouth, and the vocal cords. So we know it's on the left side, so we know this area is being affected. And if you're not sure, you ask them questions. Are you experiencing problems communicating? Are you experiencing problems with chewing, swallowing, talking, reasoning? So you can ask all these questions, and you can also edit. You can change the values of them. I don't know why you would at this case here. Let's say you want to shift something over and it affects the whole readout. So there is all these other areas. Let's say each individuals. There's only one chart here, so we can go and let's take a look at there. So there's three components when it looks at the urinary. So it's the urethra, the kidney, and the bladder. So we know there's issues with the bladder, and you ask questions. Any burning or difficulty when urinating, any discharges in between, let's say, avoiding the bladder. So you could ask questions. Is there any pains in the back or whatever? Do you have a history of kidney stone? Sometimes they say they don't know. And then you can follow through. Again, we don't see kidney stones, but if there's any inflammation or scar tissue caused by a previous stone that has passed through, if it did some damage on the way down, we can actually see the scar tissue. And this is what you will see in the kidneys. So again, there's you could make suggestions to an individual. You could say whatever it is, the category, let's say vitamins. You want to tell them they're going to need a B complex, you put it in there, and this is going to be appended to their report. So if we do a report, let's say we'll do that again to show. Sorry, I'm working at a disadvantage with this thing here today. Not even grab it to hold it down. Sorry. Let's see. Should be able to see it in the report here that we've added the B complex. Oh, I apologize. See, on the report, we have to put the comments and suggestions. So you select whatever it is that you want to put. Here's the iris signs and comments. So you'll be able to see the sclera that we put. Okay, and then you would type out what is it that you want to put in there as for homeopathics. If there's something else that you want to suggest, herbals, and then you could pick up from the list. You could pick up all this. So some, I'm just going to pick out here. There it is. So we, again, this will be all appended to the final report. It will have the client's name. It will have your name as a practitioner, and it will have the date and time of this test. So you can always fall back on that. And there's many other aspects of the software that we haven't done yet. You can have symbols like arrows or whatever. You can zoom in and out of it. You can control, manipulate it by making it lighter and darker. So if you need to take a look, oh, the nice thing about this here is that actually, if you take a look at the report, I wanted to show you this. Okay, it didn't come out on this report. Basically, because we have done we've done this design here, you can actually see the relief. So this is on the image there on the printout, you have actually be able to see the angle of fuchs. Because even though we're drawing it out here, you'll be able to see them in the report. That's when if you draw it this way here. Like I said, if you have no time and you just want to do quick, right here will suffice. That will give you enough information to analyze. Again, there's so much to the software. I can't go into much more detail at this point here because there's a lot to take in right now. There's try to flip through. If I had a double screen, we wouldn't have having these issues here. I'd be able to show you a lot more, but having to shrink it and manipulate it that way there, it does take a little bit of time. And I hope it wasn't too much confusing for you. But again, there's all these other areas that we get into that you could do so much with the images. And then you can actually crop it so you don't see any of this, but it depends how you take the image. I took this images particularly this way over here so I could show you that you could see the sclerology aspect of it. Most images that I take is only in this area right there, the full iris. I don't take them with the sclera or in it. So I wanted to show you both how you can do just a quick analysis, a more detailed analysis. So this is just a small introductory to the actual use of this software. I'm very pleased with it. I mean, there's other software that I use for different applications. For everyday iridology, this is more than adequate. It's useful. It's fairly accurate. But this is where your experience actually comes in too. So if the software has picked up something and your experience and shows you otherwise, follow your instinct and the training that you have received. It's a joy to use. It's very quick. It will pay itself off in a short period of time. Like I said, it's yours. You own it, and you will have the support on it. If there's any questions, I'll try to answer them as best as possible. I know there's a lot of information going across right now, but in a short time span, I'm trying to put in as much as possible to try to show you the use of the software and its validity. And it has a place. It really does.
Thank you, Salvador. Excellent. That was a great demo. Can you give me back the host? There it is. All right, that's excellent. Really great demo. Anybody have any questions? Comments? So there is a learning curve to the software. If that's something that you think is going to be useful to you, it is available on the website on joyfullivingservices.com, and it is Mark Kennedy. It is Mark Kennedy software out in Australia. He did just put it on 30% off, so it is on sale for the month of June. Don't know if the sale is going to go any longer than that, but it is on sale. So if you have other questions about it, once you can watch the video again. If you have questions about it, you could just, let me know, send me a message, send me an email. If I don't know the answer, I'll send it to Salvador and we can massage it and figure things out. Okay. And then you're going to do another demo later, right? Maybe a little bit more extended demo. We'll do another one.
We can, if it's of an interest. If it's not, then there's a little bit there they go on. Then you can make a educated decision if that's something that you want to have in your practice. I highly suggest it because it will make your life a lot easier, especially to keep track of all your clients. It will keep it all in there, and it has a beautiful or a wonderful database of information. You can also create a database of your own. So let's say you're more into aromatherapy or whatever, that you can create that portion there, and you can append that onto your report. So you can suggest to your client, this is what, do aloe vera or do valerian or any other type of herb, and then you have record of it. And they take the report with them, and then they can always follow up on it. Because during a consultation, sometimes you're bringing out a lot of information, and it could be overwhelming for a lot of people, even for someone who's maybe taking notes or whatever. And but you had the hard copy there, and you always have something to fall back on. You can always go back and review it at any given time.
Yeah, yeah. There is a learning curve to the software in the beginning. So, but the key is, like you did, marking if it's male or female, left or right eye, locking it and assigning it, and going through all those steps. And the report's editable, so you can change it. If you have a lot of clients that come to you that are have a lot of cardiovascular issues, you can edit the reports to work with those types of clients. So if you have a lot of clients that if you want to focus on clients with women's health issues or male health issues or respiratory issues, you can, it's nice. It's very, once you learn how to use it, once you get past that learning curve, then there's a lot, like Salvador said, there's a lot you can do with it, if that's something that you think that'll be helpful for you in your business. Okay, anything else anybody want to add to it? Any questions, comments? No, you're all quiet
It was
today.
not a good presentation then.
That was a great presentation. The overwhelmed was the word you used that is appropriate for me. That was like, okay, I'm just kind of new to iridology itself. so it's I kind of want to still hang with it, but man, I love software. I love it. It's in my future for sure. It's awesome.
You won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
They've done a great job. And Mark Kennedy, he's offering another window to this wonderful world of iridology. And you already know how to analyze. So why not have the enhancement, not enhancement because it kind of complements each other, but to keep things on track and everything else, you don't need to draw anything. This program will actually do that for you, but keep drawing. It gives you your hand, it keeps your brain placid, so you can just work with it, and it keeps things fresh in your mind. See, you'll be like me, you forget to do it. You use a lot of the software, and sometimes you're trying to use the old terms and all that, and they just don't come. And but just keep yourself with it, and it'll be second nature to you, especially when you use it all the time.
That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, good. Glad you enjoyed it. Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording then.
Remember, game is tomorrow.
Oh, Ivana, do you have a comment?
Yes, I want to say that Salvatore made a wonderful presentation and make it all simple. And I think that that people that are new in iridology should maybe take a consideration of having it, because it will easy them the way to understand that this program will scan for them, and make it easy to not to diagnose, but to pre-diagnose. Can we say that?
Analyze.
Yeah, analyze. Okay. Because in Croatia there's like, you can say a pre-diagnose, like pre-diagnostic method, but analyzing it would be really the best word for that. So I think that what Salvador explained, and how you can add everything what is not like been done by program, and then you can just have it and you don't have to draw it. It's making it easier for you to have it in a folder, actually in a file, for further and follow-ups when clients come. So thank you, Salvador, for showing us this program.
My sheer pleasure, really. And it's a wonderful group here. And when you have great team, as you guys have been, it's easier to facilitate information, the way everybody's come together and helping each other out. I mean, this is what I love to see. And you know what? I think it all comes down to the teacher. Teacher is everything. She's been great all along, and you have a great mentor right there. So she made all this possible. If it wasn't for her, none of this would have happened. So it was her vision to put classes together and spread this wonderful modality, which I think is phenomenal. Its weight in gold and has a lot to offer humanity. And the more word she spreads out, and having people like yourselves join this group and do something with it and for the better of mankind at all levels, I think it's just brilliant. And it makes me so proud and honored to have somebody like Brenda doing this. And I think her caliber is very, very high. I've known a lot of other iridology teachers and professors and all that, and I think she's one of the ones that really ranks high. And I'm not just saying that, like I said, I've known Brenda for a long time, and I know her weight in gold, the salt of the earth. And I mean, it's just brilliant, the work that she does and the way she helps out, gives out the information, supports everybody on all levels. And if somebody's struggling, no big deal for her. She puts it out there and makes you learn in a way that is comfortable and easy for you. And she works on each individual. So she treats everybody differently and sees where the strength and the weakness of each individual is. And she supports that at all levels. And Brenda, what can I say there? You've been part of my life for a long, long time. And I see what you have done. I see what you're doing. And I see what you have more to offer in the future.
Thank you, Salvador.
That's
I
how
second that.
feel.
Really, that's really
That's how I
nice.
feel.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate all your support and your comments, and thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody. On that note, I am going to stop the recording. So hold on here.